Yes.
It's April.
Yes, it is. And we're back from West Virginia. The wild and wonderful.
Oh my God, the Greenbrier. I was like, West Virginia. Yes, you are looking at listening to the second best sports operation in the Virginias. Yay!
Yes. Congratulations.
Actually, technically fourth or third or fourth because WHSV won small market best sports operation.
No. Just second best for the large market in sports operations of the Virginias. So there you go. Yes, it's an honor and it's a privilege.
Congrats.
To have this honor.
Congrats.
No, congrats to you as well.
No, congrats to you.
We're a team. Like the photo is my little face and your little face.
Yeah, that's true. We are together in a professional way.
Oh man.
But congrats to Nolan.
Yeah.
You know what Samuel said to me though on Saturday or Sunday whenever I saw him, he's like, you were speaking it into existence that Nolan was going to win on your podcast. And I was like, I wasn't speaking it into existence. I was just preparing myself mentally to be happy for him, which of course I am. A lot of hokey bias. And then you and I didn't even take a picture together. That's how sad we were.
No, that's not how sad we were. I could have sworn somebody took one of us, but I guess I was wrong.
If it wasn't on Morgan's phone and it wasn't on Allison's phone, then it doesn't exist.
That's amazing. I don't know why I thought we took one, but no, it was a great day though. It was nice and hot.
I know. I'm so mad we were inside that whole time.
But everybody looked great. Had the best outfits on and did good and yeah,
Yay.
Came out with some hardware. That's the way to do it.
Yay, second.
No, don't do this.
No, it's okay.
Listen.
No, we just literally haven't gotten first since I've been at the station. We get second every year.
Listen, as I mentioned to a lot of people, the year we had with me having a little one, or my wife having a little one, me being missing time for that, you not even being 100% as you reminded me last time, and just us two, as of April of last year all the way through, we went through a lot and we did a lot. So
I know
we got a lot to be thankful for, and to even just be recognized was huge for me. So
we are walking adversity.
Walking adversity. The epitome of what it means to push through and keep on chugging. The little engines that could.
The little what?
The little engines.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks. Well, yeah. No, it's great to be nominated. There's a lot of great sports markets in Virginia. And congrats to Nolan.
Yeah.
On to the next award. What's next? Murrow's? We'll find out about that here soon, I think.
Sure.
We nominated this podcast for a Murrow, so if we got nominated,
hey,
it would be crazy.
Yeah, don't bust that doors down for sponsorships then.
Yeah, Taco Bell. Looking at you. Sponsor us. Taco Bell. Go out there sponsored by the Hirschberger Road Taco Bell.
Hey, we're coming along, we're chugging, and we're just in the season of gratitude. So that's all. That's
so nice.
Yeah, gratitude is the attitude.
Gratitude is the attitude.
Yeah, right? No? Okay.
No, whatever. I'm just kind of over the cold weather. I've moved on. Yeah. And I'm mad that we spent that whole day inside and it was so beautiful out.
It was beautiful out.
Like gorgeous. When we stepped outside to take pics, I was like, oh my gosh, we've been in air conditioning all day? This is awesome.
Yeah, the ballroom was a little darker than I thought it would be, considering all the natural light that we knew was outside. I was like, oh wow, it's no really.
They had the shades drawn, yeah.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay. I was wondering, A, is there a ton of windows in here that are covered up, or is it just not windows? So
yeah, the Greenbrier was just as advertised, though. As two people who have only seen it from the outside, it was pretty nice.
And it been secluded to the golf course.
Literally.
Which, hey, it's not a bad place to be secluded to up there, by the way.
No, except golf the tennis center doesn't have air conditioning. That's the one thing. Whenever we have to go up there,
very true.
It's like July and there's no AC, but it was
except
nice.
For last year when who came through? Liv last year.
They had air conditioning in there.
I don't know if it was AC, but it wasn't hot. I'll put it that way. It was different.
Wow. Yeah, I did not go last year, so missed out on that.
Sorry. It was different. But yeah, felt great to me at least. So
okay, fun. Well, now it's April, and what's going on in April? We're just trying to catch our breath because last night
playoff hockey. Okay.
Yeah, you said that last week too.
Yay!
Happy dogs. Arf.
Playoff hockey, and then of course spring sports.
Yeah, well, I looked at you last night and I was like, please. Which now we know after the fact, when I started running a alleged fever and have a sore throat, that it was best I didn't go anywhere. But I was like, please don't send me to a high school tonight. I just don't have it in me yet.
Yeah. No, it's so weird because like the wet weather is kind of back some things up on their end. So I feel like within a week or so we'll get out there and catch up with all the lacrosse teams.
Hopefully it's warmer next week.
Yeah, we'll talk to Jeff.
Oh gosh, yeah. I was freezing at Blacksburg. If you look at the video of all of Bree Peck's home runs, I'm in my parka, hood up, gloves on, literally in the trees, and between inning I would just face the sun like this to try to warm up. It was so cold.
No, there is a strange wind that always comes through to the outfield. The past few games I've been out there, and I was like, wow. The one game I literally was thinking, man, I should have brought my gloves.
It's chilly. There's nothing like that Blacksburg chill. Even though Will Fields got in my Twitter comments and said, Brooke, you've been to a game in Allegheny in October and November. And I'm like,
no way.
You're not wrong. You are not wrong. That wind hits different too, but
that's true.
I guess because I spent 4 years of walking across that darn drill field at Tech, and like
well, and then plus when you're moving, your body's
football
still
I
active.
actually get pretty hot for the most part because I am moving around, but softball I literally I'm just standing there.
Oh man,
waiting for a home run, which they do a lot of. So shout out Virginia Tech softball.
Yeah, you didn't have to wait much. Wait too long yesterday. So.
I know, they're so good. I think I made the right decision going there instead of UVA.
Although that was an exciting finish.
Yeah, but I wouldn't. Yeah. That's the thing. I wouldn't have even stayed there for the finish, and then we would have had to take the TV.
Oh.
Aw, stay there.
Well, you could have started with Hillcats season or home opener, and then the walk off. The walk off was
that's sweet, but that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't have stayed till the end. Would you have? Oh my god.
No,
okay, well.
No, I wouldn't say I would. No, because it's been, I can't tell you the last time I've been able to stay through the end of a softball game. That wasn't a run rule game from Virginia Tech.
Sure.
So they usually take care of business kind of quick. So.
I didn't even realize that they only played 6 innings last night.
Yeah.
They're nuts.
Took care of business.
They're so nuts.
Yeah.
But what we do.
It's the middle of the week, folks.
And my throat hurts so bad.
I'm so sorry.
Like, so bad.
I'm so
That's
sorry.
where bacteria starts to grow when you're sick, is the back of your throat. Oh. And I did not gargle any salt water today. Did you know that? All sickness starts in the back of your throat.
Which is why we tend to get a scratchy throat first. That makes sense.
Scratchy throat. Then if it gets out of the throat, then it starts to go full blown. I just hope I don't get a sinus infection or oh my God. I can't be sick. I haven't been sick all year. All year.
Wow, that's
pretty
impressive.
Didn't get the flu, didn't get COVID, didn't get the norovirus that everybody got.
Wow. Yeah.
That you got.
I did.
Yeah, no. I have not been sick. Knock on wood. If this is just a cold, please just be a cold. I have too many things to do. I have Billy Strings on Tuesday.
I'm so sorry.
I slept in 7 days, having 8 in 3.
Oh,
yeah, that song's amazing.
Sounds like you might be able to sleep a couple days.
As soon as I cut this podcast tonight, I am literally leaving 3 Advil PM down the hatch. I'm knocked.
Yeah, that's gonna be.
Do not call. Do not text. 3's crazy, but I'll stay asleep for close to 12 hours.
Yeah, that is that too many?
Nah.
Okay. As someone who's done it a ton of times.
Nah, not when I'm about to have Chipotle on the stomach, a full stomach, absorb the Advil PM. Good night.
That
be
sounds
asleep
like
by 8 o'clock.
Great meal. I feel like that would be a great
Chipotle
pregame
bowl
meal.
and 3 Advil PM.
Yeah. Imagine if that was a pregame meal. Wow.
You would play terrible.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good.
With Advil PM. But anyways, so
who didn't play terrible? Was the Roanoke College Maroons last year.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It is the time of spring games and spring football, and which, is it losing its luster?
I feel like it is a little bit nationally because it's the same old things. I listened to a coach recently. He's like, it's going to be vanilla. It is.
Let's make this thing an hour, Coach Pry. An hour on Saturday. And let's do media on the field. Let me be clear. No,
format is interesting though. I mean,
did they release it?
Well, he says he would like for the first half to be as close to a game atmosphere as possible, and then the second half, just get in what they can get in. But in terms
running clock,
most likely. But in terms of the television broadcast, it is only an hour long.
It's on it's on ACC Network,
I think, but it's only an hour long and it's not live. So, which a lot of fans are
what,
or at least the way I understand it is, it won't be like live full game. Like it'll just be like highlights, more like, hey, this is what good happened.
What time is it airing?
I don't know what time the TV airs, but from what I understand, he was like, it was their choice in terms of the TV, how they wanted that to air, if it aired. But,
listen,
so it's
after
changing.
he sent the email about Kyron having to have a minor surgery, I'm like, why are we even doing this?
No.
Well, I mean, that's the spring game way back when.
Yeah.
Before times they're changing. It used to be like, this is our first real screen shot of what this team is going to look like in the fall, and it's exciting, and these are the new pieces that we're adding, and this is the quarterback who's had a whole year under, whatever. It's just not like that. We just can't afford for it to be like that. And kind of how, what's his name, Matt Rule at Nebraska said, I'm not putting out a free-for-all for the transfer portal little snakes to come out there and grab my players.
That's the hard part, is you trying to dodge, all right, because everybody ain't going to make it, or some folks are not going to be happy after spring game, and they're going to jump in the portal. So it's just a matter of what happens. But, I mean, I think for Tech, there's still some intrigue. New DC, new OC.
No, it will be interesting, but do you think they're going to flex on us? No. I don't.
No, but we'll get to at the least see the base of what they're trying to run.
Maybe.
Which will be...
I mean, maybe, because what can you really do when... I mean, the whole thing that the Monty said when he got here was, we are building this thing around Kyron Drones. That is what our offense is going to be. It runs through him. Well, Kyron is not going to be playing on Saturday. So what really are we going to see?
Pop.
Yes, I know who we're going to see.
No, but I think it'll be cool to...
I just don't want it to be like a waste of energy for the fan. I don't know.
No, I think fans
it's
will
not
always
my
be
job
excited.
to tell people whether or not they're about to be excited, I guess.
No, I think fans will definitely be excited to at least get a peek into what could be, what things could look like. Now, they know they're not going to get the exact name,
last year you had a great run by a lot of our 1st and 10 players.
Yeah, it was all of them. Yeah. Prelude scored twice, right?
Yeah, you had a great run by him. Injured. 2 games in?
Yes, and then of course Jay Rika scored 2-3 times. Yeah, so
I know. Is
moving up the depth chart.
Is this going to be the year for Jay Ricus Harrison? Let's go. Let's go, Coach Montgomery.
Could be. I love how he's just gotten there and he just works.
I know. He's so nice. He's so nice. It actually is very sweet when those kids remember us little people. But yeah, Jay Ricus is always, and his dad is an angel, and Jordan and Jaden McDonald's dad is an angel. He spoke to me the other day at that practice.
Johnson, yeah.
It is great. Nice, and it was nice. Speaking of that, our guest opened it up by saying thank you for all we do, because it is a thankless job. I did want to ask him how many kids he ended up recruiting from our 1st and 10 coverage.
Ooh, I'd say a solid
they were
40,
at a lot of
50%.
Games that I was at.
Oh, yeah.
A lot.
Absolutely.
But you can't be everywhere, so...
Sure.
You got to watch 1st and 10.
Hey, he said maybe hop in the truck with us sometime and go to some of these games.
Come on. I would love for somebody to carry my stuff.
No, they're there to recruit the players.
Sure, but you can pull the wagon on the way in. Come on.
Well, they might have their own wagon.
Please, I've seen the 4 of them. No wagon in sight. They can pull mine. They keep it low key.
Oh gosh. Nonetheless, our guest this week was the lovely Bryan Stinespring, head coach of Roanoke College football, revitalized Roanoke College football. So great to have him on, and just an excellent ball coach and guy that talks ball, but he can also talk life. So I was a sponge again. So
I know when he spit out that first quote that he said, I was like, Eric's writing it down.
In
his mind. He needs his meta glasses so he can record it.
All right, I'm not that nerdy.
All right. Well, let's get to the interview. Roanoke College head football coach Bryan Stinespring.
Welcome back to the Foul Check Podcast. We are excited and delighted to be joined by the one, the only head coach of the football program, Coach Bryan Stinespring. Welcome in, Coach.
Well, thank you, Eric and Brooke. Thank you very much. And I'm going to be clear. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
But thank you for all that you do for student athletes, for high schools, not just Roanoke College and Roanoke College football, but what you guys do for the student athletes in the schools in this community in terms of your coverage is absolutely amazing, and we're very thankful for what you do. I think there's a great blend between the community and schools and sports, and they feed off each other, and you telling the stories that are out there in this area is amazing. And I want to let you know how much we all appreciate what you do.
Well,
we appreciate you. We appreciate you. We know it's a momentous time for you. It's been quite a year, quite a calendar year plus for you.
Yeah.
How would you describe how things are for you at this moment compared to how they were at this moment last year? How things have progressed and how just comfortable or perhaps how rushed up things are just a bit still?
We are still in the first year. And even though it may not be that way calendar, we're still a first-year program. We're still building our team. And so we have not arrived. And that's the one thing I stress to everyone, that whatever took place last year, which was absolutely amazing, but we still have the same hurdles in front of them. They may be a different hurdle, but it's the same thing. We still got to put another team together. We still have to build the roster, to advance our staff a little bit. So there's a lot to be done every day. So people say, is it like last year? Last year was unbelievably hectic. We're still hectic. But it's a little smoother, but we have a lot to do. We do. We still have a lot to do to get ready for this go around.
You're building it right, though. I told you that from day one when we talked, and I'm like, man, you had a plan, and you can definitely see there's a focus and there's a drive to say, hey, you know what? This is the way we're going. And let's try to stay on that course. There'll be some bumps, there'll be some bruises, but we're going to be okay.
We're going to be okay, and the goal is not to be okay. The goal is to be the best version of ourselves that we can be, and we work every day to do that. There are some bumps. I got off of a bump this morning, but we're on a trajectory. We have a path, and sometimes if there's obstacles in your path that you've chosen, typically means you're on the right path. Because if there's not something there to create a bump, then it's probably not a worthwhile trip. And this is worthwhile to us. We see where we're going. We understand where we're going. And these young men that we have in our program, they have grown tremendously, and they've had to. I mean, our senior leadership is our freshman football players. And so they've had to really take on additional responsibilities and accountabilities and those type things. And I couldn't be more proud of this crew. They're absolutely amazing.
It was a fun fall watching you guys win. I'll say. I mean, how could you not be proud when you got freshmen and sophomores coming in and being like, all right, we're going to do our best?
Well, we were excited about the way that we played. We were excited that we got better as it went on. I told people before the first game, I said, I had this feeling the night before, because it was the first time in all my years of coaching that I went into a game, I'm not real sure what's getting ready to take place. We're going to trip and fall down coming out of the locker room. We're going to mess the bus. I mean, there's so – and it really – I think I talked us into it because we started awful. We're snapping it over the quarterback's head. We're snapping it over the punter's head. We're dropping balls. I'm like, oh. But we settled down. And I think the thing I'm most excited about – our team is each game that we played with 2 minutes to go in a game, it was either way. Mm-hmm. And they found a way to step up and play their best ball when it mattered most, and that means they're getting it a little bit. So I was proud of that, and quite honestly, I still to this day, walking out of the locker room and seeing that crowd, that got me. I didn't see that one coming. Still gets me, as you can tell. But we counted on that. I mean, part of me taking this job was this community and knowing how they support things within this community, and they showed out. And I mean, it's talked about. There's other schools that I go to. Hey, you guys got a crowd up there, didn't you? Yeah, sure we did. So it's kind of out there, but we actually that's important to us. That makes us different.
Yeah.
And so that gives us a chance.
For those who may not know, which how could you not know, the legendary Bryan Stinespring, but you were at Virginia Tech for a big chunk of your career. Southwest Virginia is home for you. You made stops at VMI. You were also the AD at Allegheny for a moment. I'm gonna guess you've had a head coaching job. Was that a career goal for you? And did you ever think the head coaching job you ended up taking would be for starting a football team kind of anew?
No, all my life, except for 2 years, I've lived an hour from here. Mm-hmm. Well, I was born and raised in Clifton Forge, went to Harrisonburg, Lexington, Blacksburg for 25 years, back to Harrisonburg, till I went to the University of Maryland. That was the first time I'd lived more than an hour from here. I actually taught school here as well. So this area has been everything to me in a lot of ways. I grew up as a youth coming over here. I tell people all the time I'm old enough that I rode a roller coaster at Lakeside. And you know, I've been on the train that rolled around through there. I remember these days. And so it's important that way. But I always thought I wanted to be a coach, kind of like Coach Foster, Bud, and myself at Tech. You were so engrossed in what we were doing there that there wasn't a better place in America to be.
So true.
And so we just it never crossed my mind that, okay, and then next thing you knew, you're 25 years into it. Mm-hmm. But then it became a part. Obviously, I tried to get the James Madison job because I didn't want to just take a job.
Right.
Mm-hmm. James Madison is the only head coaching job that I actually interviewed for. It's the one that I wanted. It's the one I would have liked to have. And then this opportunity back here in this community with the college, such as Roanoke College, and then to start it all up and make it your own and to build it from scratch, all those adjectives that you use really made it all worthwhile.
Yeah.
And there was moments we laugh as a staff. Mike Giannicola and Mitch Farrick and I, we talk about being in the Moorhead Hall. Do you know anything about Moorhead? Yeah. We were right. We shared the office beside us was the chaplain's office. And then I said, why did they do that? Then I think they realized they knew what they were doing. I said, you know,
I
look
right?
Hey, Chris, while you're praying, you may want to hit us to make it a good one today. So, but it's amazing where it's come to, but it's more amazing where I think we can go. Mm-hmm. There's a big ceiling to this thing, and we're trying to move the needle every day. In every capacity we can. There's still so much to do, but we're getting closer every day.
Yeah. I think it was exciting to see the student athletes, the pride that they had in wearing those jerseys, even with the club season you guys had. Can you speak to just how, I guess, thoughtful that was to see them excited not only to play football but to suit up in maroon and white and to represent something that hadn't been around for 8 decades as it was?
People ask, how did you get 60 people? And here's what I want people to understand about these young men that are in our program right now. When you go on visits to schools, they put you in uniforms, and you have photo shoots, and you have helmets, and they walk you through this beautiful this locker room or this strength and conditioning room and the coaches' offices. When they came on our campus, okay, they had a sweatshirt that we got at the bookstore and a football that we got at Dick's Sporting Goods.
Wow.
And that's what they saw. Uh-huh. The fact that these young men could see something that they couldn't put their hand on, because that's where we are in our country, right? In athletics a lot, is you got to see it. If you're not on TikTok, if you're not on Instagram, if you're not on it, you're not real. Mm-hmm. And these young men came with the idea that this was important, that they wanted to be a part of something bigger than the game. And so forever, I've told them, I've been around thousands of young men and over 40 football teams now. I'll never forget this crew.
That's so sweet. That's so special.
No, that means a lot because, as you mentioned, you're selling something that wasn't quite in place.
It wasn't in place.
It wasn't in place quite yet.
They didn't see it. They saw a picture of what we thought our locker room would look like. Okay.
Yeah.
And then, we weren't even. We still weren't in office. We're just now moving into our offices.
Mm-hmm.
Just now. So, and we're so thankful for what our administration has done to continue enabling us to have a home within our own building and to feel like this is where Roanoke football has been established. And like I said, I mean, you go into my office right now. Oh, this is nice, but there's nothing on the wall yet. Just what we were talking about earlier. Still a work in progress.
Mm-hmm.
But we're thankful for that aspect of it. So,
I mean, you kind of talked about the appeal of this job, starting something from the ground up, making it your way. There's still challenges in being a head coach compared to being a coordinator or an assistant. What are those challenges, or maybe they're less so because you're not having to worry about following a predecessor or a certain standard? What did you find the difference in this career?
That there was something you forgot. It wasn't in your manual. Mm-hmm. It wasn't in the step-by-step that you're so used to. On Monday, we do this. On Tuesday, we do that. It was just the unknowing of what are we missing? What are we not doing? What did we forget? Like our first away game, I was a nervous wreck. Like, who's got the footballs? I mean, who's packing it? Who's got the helmet? Right. Anybody got the screwdriver in case it was a lot. So probably the biggest difference is just you plan it out. You feel like you got it. We got this thing, and then you get right up to a moment and you don't got it. Mm-hmm. So there was a tremendous learning curve. We went back. I have a book that I go back through it. I wrote down everything in this big book, and I wrote down from the staff to the practices to the staff meetings to fundraising to academic support, and the book's full.
Yeah.
And I go back and look at it and go, wow. And we actually started a new one. And part of that first chapter is what can we do better? What do we need to do better? And there's several things that have we step back. I'm actually this year bringing our freshmen in a couple days earlier. I brought in a freshman last year, the whole class on the same date. We started practice the next day. Mm-hmm. They didn't have anybody to show them where the dining room was.
Right.
And it just, what it's like, how does this go? And then when classes started, we just got to throw them to the wolves. Mm-hmm. They came in, so we bring them in a little earlier. We can't practice, but we can go through some orientation things that I think when we look back last year would have really benefited our guys. Yeah. If they were under stress, they never let me know. But they probably were.
Yeah.
They probably were.
I mean, I can't even imagine, coming to a new program, being a freshman. I mean, especially the kids around here, they grow up going to these camps at Roanoke College, but you got kids coming from out of state who have never stepped foot in Salem, Virginia. I can't even imagine the nerves.
And the level of participation and the time constraints that are now in athletics, and then to be able to go right into college courses. Yeah. And so it was just and they handled it for the most part really well. I mean, I'm still, it's just a tremendous bunch, but I just think the learning concept about when you feel like you got it planned out, you feel like you got everything aligned the way it's going, there's something that you didn't prep for.
Right.
And we handled those situations. We worked the problem. I think our staff, our administration, and we worked the problem.
Yeah.
And we didn't cave to it. We worked it, and we came out on the other side pretty good.
Yeah, I'd say.
You spoke to it just a bit there, but to have good people around you is important. Mm-hmm. You were very decisive. Obviously, you had to be when picking your staff, but it seems like you wanted guys that not only had perhaps some D3 experience, ODAC experience, but also guys from in and around this area that kind of can embody and kind of know the student athletes. Can you talk about that process and how that's kind of fleshed out itself in terms of helping in recruiting now? Obviously, your name itself can do a whole lot in terms of attracting kids, but that aspect of having your staff help in that regard too.
Well, Coach Bieber told me a long time ago, this is a people business. And surrounding yourself with the right people is the most critical thing you can do. And it took me a long time to hire. I knew Mike Giannicola. I was well aware of people that have worked with him. So he was the guy that I sought after really quick. He runs Coach Foster's defense. I just knew of him, what people thought of him at Bridgewater, and he had a Northern Virginia background and all those things. And he went to Virginia Tech, which, okay, you're a pretty good guy if you go to Virginia Tech. So we hit it off. I mean, he came in for his interview, and 4 hours later, we're just still at it. We're just really talking about the future of Roanoke College, and I told him I had a couple other guys. I'd interviewed one other guy for the defensive coordinator's position. I told him I had another one, and on my way home, I said I'll be in touch with you in a day or two. I called him on the way home and offered him the job, and he accepted. And I'd named him the assistant head coach, and then we built around Mike and I. We went to Mitch, again, a guy that's been in the league, played in the league, but also has Division I background in terms of coaching at UNC in Wisconsin. But he played at Guilford, and so he's recruited. He understands Division III. Those two coordinators, I couldn't have asked for a better deal. And then obviously going to get Tony Spradlin is a guy I've been very much aware of. I like his energy. Sometimes I got to pull him back. But
yeah, Tony has energy.
I'd rather slow you down than try to get you to speed up.
For sure.
Yeah,
and but Tony's a guy that I've watched over the years. In fact, you alluded to it. I took over the athletic director's job back where I'm from because they were consolidating. I felt like, okay, I'm not working right now. I'm enjoying the downtime, but being able to try to bring those two schools together. And Tony's a guy that I brought in to interview for the head job for the consolidated schools. That's how I felt of him then.
Yeah.
And so he's been tremendous for us. He's really been an asset in recruiting, which was the biggest area that he had to learn what that was all about. He's been a great asset to us in that. And then Gerard came in, then we filled in with Darren Venable and Ben Boyd and Jeff Highfield. Just here's what they are. They're good people, they're good coaches, and they have no other agenda than making Roanoke College football as good as it can be. There's no hidden agendas in any one of these. We speak the same language. We row the same way. And I had a coach at little exit meetings I had. I said, how's it going? What'd you think? He said, Coach, I've coached for a long time, but I actually for the first time had fun.
Aww.
And sometimes we make it so hard. This game becomes so hard, and the pressure to win, sometimes you fail to really appreciate it and have fun doing it. And that's hard sometimes. But and I felt the same way. I mean, for as difficult as this was, and I've told people that this was one of the most difficult undertakings I've ever been a part of, but it's been the most rewarding. Because where you started and where you are, it's amazing, actually.
Yeah. I mean, how can you not look back on this season and go, how fun? I mean, forget the wins. How cool.
That was. If you saw me after the first game, and again, I've been at the FBS National Championship game, Sugar Bowl, Orange Bowl. James Madison played in 2 national championship games. When we won that game, I climbed up on the bleachers to celebrate a JV game on a Sunday.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many times I've done that over the course of my career. And I've been fortunate to be a part of a lot of big wins.
Yeah.
And I don't recall jumping up on the benches and jumping up and down like a 12-year-old.
Well, I think a part of that was like you said, running out of that tunnel and seeing. I mean, I was emotional that day seeing just how packed, and I think this area loves football so much, and there was just curiosity. It was like, Roanoke has a football team? Yeah. What the heck? We have to go find out if they're any good. Yeah. And yeah, it was just, I can't even imagine the relief, but the reward that it was to show the community, we can do this. We can really get a lot of local kids and a lot of not local kids together and win.
So here's the deal. Now, I don't know if I've ever told anybody this. Before we started the season, we meet as a staff and said, look, our job is not really wins and losses this year. It's we just gotta we have to build a group. We have to create a team, build a team, and we got to get our individuals better week in and week out. And whatever that flows out in terms of wins or losses, so be it. Mm-hmm. Let's just make sure that we're doing the best that we can to develop our young men, because at the end of the day, that's the most critical thing. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, we got to win this ball game.
It's Tuesday.
All of a sudden, it's 10 minutes to go in the game. We got to figure out how we're going to win this game. Right. And then you won the first one. Well, now you got to win the second one. And there was no way I would have let the officials end the game against Fork Union until we won.
Yep.
You know, it was run that back. You know. But it was important, and it became really important to our players. And so sometimes you think back and say, well, maybe a little sting of not working out would be good, but I think for us just to keep building the momentum from week to week was critical to, we're developing our players, but we need to win on Sunday, okay? So that became really important for us, and I think that's the reason we played so well down the stretch in all those games.
One important thing I've seen, and even at the D1 level, such as Virginia Tech and such, is opening the doors back up to former players and former guys that have come through the program. You've had the opportunity to bring some of those guys into your practices the past couple of weeks, the Daryl Tapps and that sort of thing. How important is it for current players to hear those experiences, get those experiences from the mouths of guys directly in front of them to say, hey, you know what? It might be hard, might be difficult, but keep pushing, keep pulling through in big instances like this.
I cannot put a price tag on how valuable that is. They hear from me every day. They say, oh, here's Coach. Here we go. Okay, here it comes. All right, life lesson of today. And when they hear from somebody that they know who they are and they know that's been there, done that, and I think it means a lot. I know it does. I watch when Jake Grove or Daryl Tapp or Aaron Rouse speaks to our team, they are dialed in. And, I mean, there's no batting of the eye. They're dialed in. They're taking it. And each of the three had such significant points of emphasis that they shared. Daryl Tapp made a statement. He said, what you have to be willing to do is do the unrequired work. Mm-hmm. Everybody just did what's required. I go to school, I go to class, from this to that, that's the required. It's the same in athletics, the same in academics. What are you willing to do? More than the required work. Are you willing to do the unrequired work? And I'm like, wow, I'm writing this down.
It's on the whiteboard.
It is on the whiteboard. In fact, we tweeted it out.
Yeah.
And because I just saw they needed to hear that. I mean, I told our staff, we need to hear that. Okay, have we done our work yet? It's time to go home. Or are we done? And so it was important. Jake Grove, he wasn't highly recruited. He talks about the importance of watching film. I hate everybody would say, Jake, you watch film all the time. You love it. No, I hate it. But I had to find my advantage.
Yeah.
And that's what we all have to do, right? Is find our advantage. Find an advantage. Find an advantage. How do I outwork somebody? That's really what he did. He outworked people. And then Aaron Rouse, who sits there and talk about opportunities. Aaron, I'm so proud of the man that he is and the man he's become. He's running for lieutenant governor. And, there was difficulty in his life. And he just kept telling himself, there's opportunities. I cannot fail the opportunity. And they just stated so much better than I can, and they relayed. So they need to hear these things from people that they know that have a real story to tell. And I thought all three of them did a great job of relating a story. And it's part of building your team. It's in educating your team. It's part of building the culture and all those things. And they're a significant part of doing that. That's why we do it.
Yeah. Obviously, we can't sit here with a great offensive mind and not ask some X's and O's questions, some burning questions. This podcast is, we break down rules or, things in the sport that are not commonly openly talked about. We've done football. I feel like our listeners know the gist, and it's one of the most popular sports. But I need to know, what in your mind is the obsession with the run game now? College football, I feel like, has gone up and down. We're going to spread. We're going to pass. Now we're going to run. Now we're going back to passing. Now people love the run. Why is that so important? And what is the secret to actually having a good run game? Because it isn't just having a good running back.
Wow, I think
question.
it's a great question. I'm like sitting there, wow, I don't know if I can answer that. It's important to be able to run the ball because as a defense, I've heard every defensive coordinator, specifically starting with Phil Elmation and Bud Foster, make the offense one-dimensional. Mm-hmm. If they can't run it, then they have to throw it. It's all right. We have them where we want them. Because now we can turn people loose. We don't have to worry about the counter. We don't have to worry about the reverse. We don't have to worry about come get the quarterback.
Okay.
And then get into double coverages where he's got nowhere to throw it. And you're fighting an uphill battle. Okay. But the ability to run the ball and the infatuation with it is defenses have to defend it. And now they have to determine, do they want to put more people around the box to defend the run? Then that opens up the passing lanes for you. Because now they got to commit more people to stop the run. Now your passing game gets a lot easier. So there's that part. And then regardless of the weather, if you can run the ball, you can win in every type of weather that there is. But I just and then I think when you can run the ball at a defense, you throw an 8-yard outcut. That don't hurt their ego. That don't hurt their pride.
Yeah.
Their will to win. Throw it again. But line up and run the ball down your throat, that takes a toll. The mental psyche of your opponent. And then you now start trying to will your game plan into their lap. And what do I think makes a running game? And I believe I coached the line my whole life. I love the running game. It's the attitude that you run it with. It is, nobody talks. It's a scheme. It's guys up front. Well, no kidding. Yeah. Kevin Jones, Lisa, no kidding. Okay, but if you don't have the right attitude, we're going to run the ball. I don't care if they got 11. If they pull a 12th guy off the stands, let's go. Okay. Let's go. And if we got to play this in a phone booth, let's go. And eventually. They feed off each other. The line feeds off the back. The back won't get one guy won't bring him down. He'll run over somebody. They feed off of that. Then line's getting a big push. The backs are feeding off that. The receivers are blocking the perimeter. It just it's an attitude. It's an attitude.
So that kind of brings me another question. It is a commitment. It sounds like it's a bit of a commitment, but then how come is there any pushback on a play call when it's not running and you as your foundation, your line, your running backs are committed to running the ball down the throat, like you said, putting the will of the game in the defense's hands? How come you have to commit to the play call that's, for example, not running a ball?
Well, you're going to throw it.
Okay.
No matter what, you're going to throw the ball. Okay. Don't get me wrong, but everybody, Coach Bremer taught me this a lot. What's your best run? Whatever it is. Then have the play action off of it. And so now if we're running it and they're committing to stopping the run, then we play action. We got a lot of open room to be able to throw the ball. So they work off of each other.
Yeah.
The hardest thing, and I see offensive guys getting away from it because you get booed. If you run the ball, you get booed. If it don't work, you get booed. Even if it does work, you still get booed.
Right.
And the hardest thing is to commit to something.
Sure.
And especially if you run the ball and it's -2. You run it again a couple plays later and it's 0. Then you run it the third time. There we're getting booed.
There's the game.
There's the boo. There we go. And then if you're not careful, it'll get in your helmet as a play caller. So you have to drown out that noise and figure out why it wasn't successful. Are they just better than us? Are they better than we thought they were going to be? Are they giving us a problem that we didn't foresee? Then we got to adjust the game plan. But if it's because all the tailbacks slipped, is it because the left guard just missed the run-through line? These are correctable things. It's not the plan. It's not the concept. It's just we got to execute it better.
Right. And you're also dealing with, which is what I try to remind fans as much as I can, these are 18 to 22-year-olds. Like, come on. Yeah. They're humans. These are kids. Like, they're going to make mistakes.
Well, I always used to tell people, too, they go, boy, their defense was pretty good. I said, yeah. They're on scholarship, too.
Right.
Okay. Okay, right? I mean, we don't – essentially, the offense just having all the good players and all the scholarship guys, they got good players as well. And it's all part of the game. I when I set out the 1 year and I was able to go to college games, and I said, I'm not going to be a coach in the grandstand.
Yeah,
right? I don't sit there. I don't want to sit there and enjoy. For what? What? It's just human nature, right?
Yeah.
We all want to be. We all want to be coaches, and it's hard not to be. But that's part of the game. That's what makes it so much emotion, so much attraction to it, and it's you like for every play that you call to be successful, and sometimes it is, even when it may not be. It's setting up something else.
Yeah.
And you just gotta believe in what you're doing. But I see it all the time in football. Something doesn't go right, are they going to get back to it, or do you shelve it? And like I said, I just learn from the best. And Coach Foster, Coach Beamer, if you can make them one dimension, we got you.
Yeah.
So that's the reason I think trying to be a balanced team is important, but being able to run the ball sets you can feed everything off of that.
Yeah.
Okay. Along those same lines, do you think the way the game has trended the past few years in terms of the quarterback position and everything that it entails, will we ever get back to just the true pocket quarterback passer? Don't have to necessarily run or rely on them to run, even if it's 5 to 10 times a game, or is that truly ingrained into the game of football now, where hey, we got to rely on the quarterback at least a handful of times per game now?
No, I think you can still be a pocket quarterback and be successful. Yeah. Now you got to be intelligent. I mean, you better know where to go with the ball, and you better understand the limitations if you have it up front. This isn't pass skeleton. The people are actually rushing you right now, and so you ever going to tell me that there's not a room for a Tom Brady? Yeah. Is pocket passing still relevant? Yes. In what people, and if you don't have that quarterback, running quarterbacks is what happens is we now are able to play even. Mm-hmm. So if our quarterback's running, that means a tailback or another tight end is blocking. Mm-hmm. So that instead of handing it to the tailback and there's a quarterback, one of the two has to run with the ball, and it's him. Now, when both of them can run it, it puts more problems on that defense that's trying to commit to the run game, stopping the run. So that always helps. But then the RPO game has helped. Okay, we don't have to run a quarterback to take advantage of additional defenders or this, that, and the other. Now we just show run and determine whether we want to pass off of it or not. And that's helped if you want to maintain that pocket presence, because it's still throwing the ball from the pocket.
Yeah. No, that makes sense, and I think like you said, there's a way to do it, but as you mentioned, you got to be pretty quick. You got to know what you're doing back there.
You have to. I mean, like I said, chances of you standing back here and being able to go through a full progression and all that, the defensive linemen, they know they're like offensive skill guys. Mm-hmm. They get their name in the paper if they sack the quarterback. Mm-hmm. And so they're going to try to. That changes the game. And so there's some, whether it's NFL, whether it's college, whether it's high school, a problem. If they can rush the quarterback, it gets hard.
Yeah.
If you can't protect your quarterback, it gets hard. And so we mix in the ability to throw what we call quick or more aggressive. He's got to catch it and get rid of it. It's almost like a pre-snap read, which side he wants. He's got to go with it, or he's got to settle it up in the stance. And then so you're always changing the launch point. You're trying to run draws and screens to slow down the pass rush. So you have to be creative. If you're just straight dropping back and they know he's 6 yards from the line of scrimmage right behind the center, they'll find you.
Yeah.
They'll find you.
Got to get out of Dodge.
I've always been curious, and we'll wrap this up maybe after this one, unless Eric has more. Unless you're having the time of your life, which I'm sure you are. Has there ever been an instance where, how often are the kids not following what you're telling them to do? When you call a play and the quarterback, assuming that's who you're calling it to, is like, okay, got it, goes out there, does something totally different. Has that happened in all of your years? Or for the most part, are they...
Or done it intentionally?
Like, oh, I see something totally different, coach. I'm about to do what I want to do.
No, it hasn't happened.
Wow.
It really now, I always thought one time we called a fake reverse, but we actually gave it to Eddie Royal, and it's Sean Glennon and Eddie Royal, who played high school together. They never fessed up to it, but I wondered. It makes things that make you go, that was one of those make you think, That's happened like twice. One time I get to mess up. When it happens twice, you got to say, okay.
Right. Okay.
But they weren't coming off of it. To this day, they're not coming off of it.
We got to get some answers, man.
That's always...
But no, they don't.
That's interesting, though.
We watch... like Rudy, when you watch the Notre Dame game, they're called in, we're going to kill the clock, and then they run a halfback pass, right? That's not happening.
Okay, just making sure. Well, I mean, you never know, and that's why I love this long form podcast. Is like, I think I'm a Virginia Tech fan. I went to Virginia Tech, and I've since removed the fan part of my brain, having to cover this team. But sometimes the fan part is like, that's not what you should be, like you said, when you run the ball and it's -2 yards, it's like, why didn't you just do something different in the moment? But it is like your job. You have to do your job. You have to listen to your boss.
Yeah.
So,
you do. You do.
Your boss is right if you're winning games.
That's right. That's right. So, they a lot of times you give your quarterback, like Peyton Manning with the Colts. I mean, he went to the line of scrimmage with 3 different opportunities. They sent something in. He knew that he had 3 different options to go with it. Mm-hmm. Sometimes quarterbacks, based upon what you tell them, they may read something, they may see a coverage, and they may not acknowledge, he may change a route. That does, but that's by game plan. That's by something you've addressed with them, and they do that. But the fact is, if quarterbacks will get out there and try to change a play, or the tailback says, "No, we're not running out of it." Now they'll come to the sideline and say, "Coach, that one ain't working." That one, stay away from that one. I got lit up twice. First time I take. Second time, I don't think this was working.
Yeah.
Go to play 2, right?
Yeah, move on.
Move on.
That's awesome. I love that. Okay, Eric, do you have any more burning questions?
No. I think this has been great. As we mentioned, we're looking forward to what will be a full slate now of your guys' first season in ODAC play, and a lot of great weekends coming along with that as well.
I do have a question about that, actually.
Yeah.
Because this first year was just freshmen and sophomores, and you played a JV schedule. So this next season, you were expected to play a varsity schedule, correct?
We're not we are.
Okay. How do you? I mean, how does that work for upperclassmen?
Well, it's difficult. I mean, this is one of those. When I said it's just a different set of hurdles. So 90% of our team will be freshmen and sophomores. 90% of the people we play against will be juniors and seniors. Right. So we can acknowledge what that looks like. But what we have to do is as a staff and as a team, be a little older than our years. Part of our spring, the reason that the practices have extended so long is we maintain a pretty extensive lift schedule.
Okay.
Because we've got to catch up and get ahead.
Say, weight room. Get
we extend. We want to. We only sometimes we just practice twice a week, but we're lifting 3 times every week.
Yeah.
And we have to.
Right.
And so we're just now we are bringing. We did bring 5 or 6 transfers in that make us a little older than what we are, but just a little older than what we are. So it'll be the next team. The team that we had last year, plus this crew that is coming in, and like I said, 90% of them probably somewhere in that neighborhood, maybe a little less than that, will be freshmen and sophomores.
So interesting. So different than probably any job you've ever had.
It is. I tell people all the time, I'm so excited about this upcoming season. I said, but it's like Forrest Gump. It's a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get sometimes. But
hey, and it's the spring. Spring practice is over. You don't need to stress as much right now.
I haven't felt stress. This has just been. I feel certainly that I'll feel it more so when we get to this fall because it's real.
Right.
And and let's be honest. There's teams that can't wait to play us, right? They're tired to hear about the Mighty Maroons. Tired, and they same thing. I remember when we went into the ACC. Now I heard we put it up on the bulletin boards. We'll show them what ACC football looks like. Welcome to it, and we took it personally. Yeah, and it worked out pretty well for us.
I'd say.
So we're gonna take it a little personally here too.
No, we're looking forward to it. And as you mentioned, that crowd that you came out to see that first game, I'm sure they'll be back.
I'm sure they will.
That was a great sight to see.
It was a great sight. Well, and we're actually entertaining a night game in Salem Stadium on a Saturday. So more to come up on that. You heard it here first. We would like to do that.
Oh
See what that's like.
Yeah, it would be awesome.
Yeah, so
awesome.
We gotta get with Tech and tell them if we play at night, y'all gotta play in the
Yeah, or something like that.
I don't know if they're gonna listen to me or not, but we'll give it a shot.
Something.
Yeah, you got
we'll figure it out.
I'm sure you got a little pull.
Yeah, right.
Television determined they got all the pull.
Yeah,
true. Very true.
So true.
Very true.
Yeah. Well, Coach, thank you so much for your time. Good luck this season, and gosh, it's April. Good luck in the fall, but I'm sure we'll be catching up with you long before then.
Sounds great. Thank you very much for having me.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you.
Well, that was a great interview, and I'm glad I got to ask my burning questions at the end.
Of course, we always make time just for those.
Just for me to go off the rails for 5 seconds. That's all I want. Because I am so curious, and you can't ask these questions in a press conference.
No.
Because there will be somebody in the front who's going to whip their head all the way around and be like, I can't believe Brooke's wasting our time asking. And I'm like, well, you just asked why the third string left tackle got moved up to second string left tackle but moved to left guard.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Hey, all questions are appropriate for the most part. So
yeah, as I always say, stay curious, never judgmental.
Oh, okay. All right. Let me write that one down. Huh?
Well, as I just literally made a judgmental comment. Anyways, beside the point. Yes, those are questions that I can't ask in a press conference or even in an interview, because a lot of the times we're like, just running over to practice. We need like 2 sound bites and that's it. We know the angle. So I was really interested to see, because I feel like a lot of times, like I said, I try to remove the fan brain, but when I analyze and look back, this is the fan brain talking. But a lot of the times you see something happen, for example, the run game, and you're like, why the heck would they run the ball on like 3rd and 8?
Yeah. Or they continue to run the dive play up the middle that hasn't been working.
Why would you do that?
Yeah.
So, but then it's times that I'm like, is that because is the quarterback is being defiant right now, or was that really the play call? Because you want to be like, the quarterback was defiant. Surely that wasn't the play call on 3rd and 8 to run the ball up the middle when the last 2 plays it didn't work.
But no,
surely.
But no, a lot of times it was the play call. Unless you got a quarterback that's just straight up going rogue.
Well, I kind of wanted him to say, like, Yeah, all those freak plays Michael Vick ran, that was all him. But no, that was all Steiny.
No, yeah. No, but then too, it's like, I mean, I would love to see that play out. Just the quarterback going back to the huddle. All right, coach told us to run this play, but he's a bum, so we're just gonna do.
I remember Coach Woody used to say that the red-haired George, the quarterback that he had, would just go out there and run audibles. I'm like, that's crazy. He's like, he's so smart. That's why he's going to William and Mary.
Yeah, see the power.
I just send him out there and he does what he needs to do.
The power to do that even is at the high school level, especially that's
yeah, you have to be like an incredible quarterback, which he was. He was very good.
And you will have had to play with those same group of players for a long, long time.
Yeah.
You know, but hey, to each his own. If it works, it works.
Yeah, well, I was really curious about that. And yeah, it's just, like you said, you got to commit. I mean, anything takes commitment. It could go -2, next play, 0. 3 plays down the road, it goes 20-yard gain.
Yeah, well, much like they're building that program. I don't know if a lot of people understand the undertaking that has involved, but literally building something from scratch again in like such a short amount of time, because they got all the money raised and everything so quickly.
Yeah,
and then literally getting him in position, he hired, and I'm like, wow, that was like super quick. For all the years that they talked about bringing football back, they actually pulled that off kind of quick.
Well, I remember we were sitting at that Roanoke Valley Sports Club, and Ditmore had said to us, they're trying to bring it back. And then literally they announced it a few weeks later, and within a year they had things in motion. Yeah,
that was man, it was scary how fast that happened.
I know, but I'm so happy. And he was getting so emotional when he was talking about running out. But like, I can't even imagine I guess fans are so meaningful to the sport, and to not have any clue.
No clue.
I mean, I didn't have any clue. No. When I showed up and the stands were filled.
Yeah, when I came over there with Little Man and we had to park across the street from the stadium and walk, I was like, wow. But one of the other great things to help in that regard was having those games on Sunday.
Oh yeah,
like standalone.
You're not competing with any other teams. Yeah,
like that was freaking epic. Like they couldn't have asked for anything better than that. So again, shout out to Roanoke College. I'm excited to see a full slate of games, and as I mentioned, they got like a lot of good like event weekends wrapped into their season too. Some pretty good opponents as well. So.
Well, and there is that one Friday night game where Tech plays Friday, opens up a Saturday.
Ooh.
Come on.
Come on.
Saturday night. I wonder, have they released has Roanoke College released their schedule yet?
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I wonder
if that's WSLS.com.
If that's the same weekend. Roanoke College football schedule.
Yeah,
that Tech has that, which Friday night college football games.
The worst.
Did
you see they changed I think it's Duke's Friday night season opener from Friday to Thursday now?
Yeah.
I'm like,
that makes way more sense.
Yeah.
That is like, in terms of recruiting, the dumbest scheduling you can do.
Yeah, because there's no high school.
No kids are foregoing their game to come to a college game on a Friday night.
No.
It's just dumb. And the media is not going to be there. So what do you want
rules.
From us?
TV rules, though. What can you do?
It's like the song, Money Talks, Money Talks.
Sure, it does. And it talks on
they
Friday
have a lot
nights
of games. Okay, let me
hey, full season.
Tech football.
Full season.
Schedule.
I like the fact that they're already playing the ODAC newcomer this season in Gallaudet University.
Oh.
Which, as I mentioned, that's an all-deaf school out of DC. Yeah.
Really?
So very fascinated.
I love that.
Very fascinated in checking that one out and actually seeing the motions of how they do that, because I've seen videos of how the communication takes place. And obviously having someone in my family that's part of the deaf community, it's always been fascinating to me, just how they communicate with sign language, but through other social cues as well too. So,
well, there was a really great package that Morgan Chesney, I hope I'm not butchering his name, he works for NBC. He did a couple years ago on a deaf football team in California, and it was like, I DM'd him on Twitter. I'm like, this is the best story I have seen in a really long time. It's so good. Yeah, that's crazy. That's really cool. By the way,
not the same weekend.
No, Roanoke College is at Hampton Sydney, and Tech plays on a Friday night. And guess what night that is actually in regards to us? It's like the last weekend of it is Martinsville weekend and last weekend of the regular season.
Nice.
Awesome. Thanks. That should go over well. You know what? Not our problem. Like I said, it's Steiny. It's April. There's no need to stress. No. But there are definitely opportunities for them to have a Saturday night game that's not conflicting with, well, maybe not. We'll see. That's above our pay grade, honestly.
If their season were to start August 30th, that would be great because Tech opens on that Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
In Atlanta.
Yeah, we all need to talk about that. Okay.
No.
Yeah, so that was a great interview. Love Steiny. He's great. We knew that.
Go Maroons.
And such a goat.
Oh, of course. Everything he does.
Like, he's goated.
Yeah. I mean,
of course he's got good kids coming to Roanoke College. They're like, their dad is like, you wouldn't believe what this man did in the 90s and 2000s at Virginia Tech. You're going to play for him.
Yeah. I mean, I'd suit up for him if I had some eligibility.
You do like still.
True. With the way that their model's working, but you know what? Yeah, see y'all later. No,
right. Well, he's like, it's going to be 90% freshmen and sophomores. I'm like, and one really primed and prepped 31-year-old. You're about to be 32.
Oh, who is?
Isn't it your birthday?
Oh my gosh.
4 days?
32? What?
Wait, it's the 14th. Wait, no, your birthday's the 11th. 2 days. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
How do we always end up here? Like,
happy birthday to our Aries King.
Oh my gosh.
Happy birthday to you.
You're too kind. You're too kind.
Happy birthday. I love Aries.
Actually, I'm just turning 30, so.
What? I thought you were born in 1994.
Oh, thank you.
No. Oh, you're turning 31.
No, just kidding.
How old are you?
Keep the song going. How old are you? No.
How old are you?
I will be a lovely 32 years old. So
32.
Yeah.
Wow. Half of 32 is 16. Right? 16
yes,
times
ma'am.
10. Wow.
Yeah.
That's exciting. What are you gonna do for your birthday?
I'll be reporting to you from the Berglund Center for the Roanoke Dogs playoff home opener. Let's go.
Oh my God.
Let's go. Let's go. It's going to be nasty weather outside, so there's no need to go to a baseball game. Come on inside with the Roanoke Dogs.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
You literally will be there.
I gotta come to work.
Yeah, isn't that kind of sad? There's jobs now that have your birthday's a paid day off.
I mean,
it should be like that.
We get that personal day,
right? But like, you need your personal day for like, a personal day. Birthday.
I mean, we get it in addition to a personal day, right? Like, don't we get a personal day and then a birthday as well?
Our birthday is not technically a paid holiday off. I mean, you can take it. I won't tell.
Yeah, the fans wouldn't be happy about that.
Yeah, they don't want to hear from me.
No. I'm saying
money talks.
I'm saying they would like to see a sports presence, especially on the home playoff opener for the.
Get over there. Get over there, slippery.
I'll be over there Thursday, camping out Thursday night, waiting for the fans that are waiting to get inside Friday morning.
That's insane.
That would be great. That actually would be
That
great.
Is insane.
No, I'm sure fans won't be doing that, but they'll be there early, as they always have been. So.
I know, it's wild that they tailgate.
Yeah, I'll catch up with fans to tailgate. Yeah, no, I think it's pretty cool. That's awesome. Had no idea that they tailgated for hockey games. So.
Yeah. The fan base is strong with the dogs.
No, I love it.
Arf.
I love it. What has it been now? 9 years? It's hard to believe. Wow.
Yeah, I remember when they brought it to Roanoke because I was interning at Fox and we had the McGinns come in and do an interview, do a sit down.
Yep.
Good times.
2016.
Are any of them still playing hot? Oh.
You okay?
Well, the GoPro just died, so I guess it's time to end this thing. All right. Well, I was just going to go on and on about nothing, so that was a good episode, good conversation, and in 2 weeks it will be
definitely the heart of spring sports.
Yeah, maybe some more lacrosse bros.
Ooh, it's a good conversation we had last time with some lacrosse guys.
I know, they were so funny.
Yeah, it was great.
So funny. Wow. All right.
We'll see who we can catch up with.
We'll see who we can find. And it's always a star-studded affair over here on Foul Check. Why'd I whisper that? We gotta go. I'm so hungry. All right. Have a great week. 2 weeks.